reporting from San Antonio, Texas, from the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, where committee meetings have been going on all day. And so the current committees that have been focused on is the national defense, and business, commerce, and what I think is most notable is the Constitution Committee, which basically has been the least constitutional committee I think that the Republican Party has ever seen. It is basically made up of a bunch of people who have made up their minds about what they want to see. They've limited testimony, so delegates who have come, who have taken time to be here in San Antonio, and right now I'm broadcasting from the outside of the committee chambers. Different committees are still meeting, but basically the rules committee, or the constitutional. The Constitution Subcommittee, the temporary committee on the Constitution, basically took up just a limited amount of time that they allowed delegates to speak and give testimony. They, before that even began, they said that they were removing Plank 37, which is the Constitutional Convention of the States, Article 5. And so before they even heard testimony, they had made up their minds. And some are saying that it has a lot to do with the platform committee chairman, who appointed those people who are going to serve on the different subcommittees. Now I can't verify whether or not that's true or not, but what was shocking to me is how little testimony was allowed. The committee essentially took a bunch of breaks. They then adjourned for another break after they cut testimony off, and then basically spent about 15 minutes making their final recommendations for platform, and that was it. The reason that's shocking is because we're going to have committees, subcommittees that are working till 11 o'clock tonight on different subjects. Now tomorrow there's going to be something similar to Constitution Committee, and that's going to be the State Affairs Committee. So I'll be going and testifying in that committee as well. And so that who knows how that committee is going to run through. Dennis London, who is representing SD2, Bob Hall's district, is in the National Defense Committee right now. I just spoke with him. He said they think that they're going to be here till 9-10 o'clock tonight. And what's interesting is that national defense, that part of the platform has fewer platform planks than the Constitution, than the planks of the Constitution. And yet the Constitution Committee is already done. So the part of the platform that has the most to say has a committee that basically wanted to spend the least amount of time working. It was the most unconstitutional Constitution Committee that I've witnessed in all the years that I have been a delegate at this state convention, and it's a real sad thing to see. The thing is, the Constitution of the Convention of the States, Article 5, that is one thing that many people don't want to see on the platform again. It was a minority report at the last convention, and it passed. And the thing is, if you don't like the idea of a convention of the states, okay, that's fine. But if you're on the committee, don't take that off the platform. Put it before the delegates, because at the end of the convention, the delegates get an opportunity to vote which platform planks they want to keep, that they want to adopt, and which ones they don't. So if the Constitution of the State, Article 5, does not have support of the majority of delegates, then it will not be on our platform. So that's why this is a problem, because even though it's part of our Constitution, there's a lot of Republicans who don't like the Constitution. They don't like this part of the Constitution, so they want to eliminate it. They just want to ignore it. Isn't it interesting? It's a little bit hypocritical, if you ask me, that you have Republicans who are saying that they believe in the Constitution, but they don't want to follow the Constitution. It's a shame. And so a lot of people, one of the most notable things that was said at the end of the testimony was one of the members of the committee who's against the Constitution of the state, who didn't want to see it on the platform, who voted to take it off. He happened to say that, it's such a divisive issue, and we don't want. It's just one of those issues that we don't want to divide our party. Isn't that interesting? He doesn't want to divide our party, and so he wants to take things off the party platform that could be divisive. I don't know. Remember when civil rights was a divisive issue in the Republican and Democrat parties? And ironically, it's Republicans who passed the civil rights legislation. Johnson was not successful in getting civil rights passed because Republicans' reluctance to pass it. It was hard to get it passed because of Democrats' reluctance to pass it. But there is a wide swath, and Republicans, they were willing to fight for civil rights, a controversial issue, and Republicans are willing to fight for the Fifth Amendment, the right of the Constitution of the states, and yet there are some who are too afraid. That they're afraid that, oh goodness, if something happens that this convention of the states could go off the rails, even though there's no evidence whatsoever, even though those who speculate that kind of rhetoric have no basis on which to make that argument, not from a practical, not from a legal, not from a realistic point of view. Now, and I will just simply say that it is a long shot to get a constitutional convention of the states moving forward, even in the best circumstances. But for Texas delegates, for our state platform committee that is focusing on that's supposed to be focusing on the Constitution, that's a sad state of affairs. So because this guy says because it's divisive, he just doesn't want to allow it to be presented to delegates. It really kind of begs the question: well, if it's that controversial, then why not just put it on the ballot or on the platform for delegates to consider? And if you're right, then they'll take it off. Why prevent delegates from being able to vote on something that you don't like? That's a very telling thing, and it tells you more about those members of the committee who are opposed to it than those who are supporting it. So that's one of the issues I think that's important. The Constitution Committee should be ashamed of themselves. There's only a couple of members. I saw really only one that was really fighting for the right of things to be added to the platform. So that was one issue. Another issue is I had presented a proposal that the preamble of the platform include the wording that the role of government is to do the most good for the most people at the least cost. That's the role of government. That's the fundamental principle of what a Republican is. Well, they didn't like it, so they've basically trying to create another platform plank out of it, and it should stay as a because it's a fundamental. They've rewritten it, and so I'll be testifying about it tomorrow, and we'll be talking about what the problems with what they're trying to do in trying to make it about legislation. It's not about legislation. It's a fundamental principle of what being a Republican is, and that's why that should be on the preamble of the platform, kind of giving the basis of what we believe. So it is about 5:30 right now here at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. I'm basically doing a roving thing. I'm having a lot of technical difficulties with the equipment that we had put together the live view is not working right now. Hopefully, we'll get that fixed tomorrow. So ultimately, I'm just basically broadcasting from my phone, which is okay too. So I hope you have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again for being with me. Talk to you soon. Or see you tomorrow.